All right, so the next section is we're just going to talk a little bit more about this concept of current and get a little bit more of a physics explanation to it, so that as we're talking about current throughout the remainder of this unit, we know what it is. So when I'm defining current, we in the previous section we talked about like hooking up a capacitor or a battery, and that causes electrons to flow. So we know that it's electrons flowing. However, the convention is that current is the flow of positive charge. Now, this was picked when it was being studied, but we actually found out later that it was the wrong convention. But yet the convention is still it's the flow of positive charge. So in the simulation that we took a look at, there's two different options for mapping it. We have the actual flow of electrons, which is actually happening, and then the convention. So the convention goes from positive to negative, but the actual flow is electrons flowing from negative to positive. So it gets a little confusing, but just to keep that straight, there's a convention flowing positive charge from positive to negative, and then there's the actual flow, which is electrons from negative to positive. So what current is just the flow of those charges. So it's the rate at which charge is moving. So if I think about like another current that I look at the water. Water currents. Water currents is how much water is passing me, right? We're looking at the velocity of water essentially. So it's the flow of water in a given amount of time. Well, current is the flow of electrons in a given amount of time. So the charge, Q, that's how much charge is passing you in delta T, a time interval. So the definition of current, when we're talking about current, it's the going from high potential to low potential or from positive to negative. Current is measured in charge per second, which is coulombs per second, which we define in physics as an amp. And we use the capital letter A to define an amp. So when we're talking about amps, we're talking about the rate at which electrons flow, or the current. Now, 1 amp is 1 coulomb per second. Now, typically in your house, you have somewhere around 100 amp or 150 or 200 amp service. So if you talk to your parents about this, they might know something about it, right? So that is essentially how much current comes to your house. So if you think about it, right, if we talk about like this concept of water again, there's this nice big, sea, we'll pretend this is water, sorry I didn't use the color blue, that's flowing throughout the city. And your house has a little branch of that sea of about 100 amps. And that 100 amps is just what can flow off into your household to provide you with some electrical service. Now, some people might upgrade to 200 amps, so they get an extra like wide area that current can flow through. And people need to do this all the time. Like if you have like high machinery that you operate out of your house, if you have a hot tub, pool, things like that require more current to come to your house, so you need a bigger branch to come to your house. Now, what that means is that it's bigger wires essentially that go into your house, and that allows it to have more current. So I got a quick check here. Every minute, that's 60 seconds, 120 coulombs charge flow. So current is delta Q over delta T. So the charge is 120 coulombs, and we're talking about 60 seconds. So we get a current of 2 amps. So the current is the flow of electrons, and that is 2 amps. Another quick check here. Sorry, I got the answers already marked. A and B are identical light bulbs. We talked about this in the last section. There is a continuity law that says the electrons flowing must be constant everywhere throughout the circuit, which means that bulbs A and B are going to get the exact same brightness. Now, there are a couple rules that will govern this current that we'll talk about, and the big one is a junction. And there's Kirchhoff's junction law is going to explain this. So, going back to my example before, we have your current flowing and then you kind of branch off into your house. Well, that means that you're taking some of that current out of the main stream. So a junction is a point where the wire can branch, and your house is a junction to the overall current being provided, or the electric being provided to the city. So for a junction, there is a equation of continuity, or a conservation law, you can think of it. So if current comes in and it splits, right? So now there's two paths, then the current that comes into that junction must be the same as the current that goes out of the junction. And that makes sense, right? Current's not created or destroyed just because the path is split. Just like in water, if there's a junction, there's still a total the same amount of water. It's just going to be flowing at different rates in different branches. So the basic statement that the sum of the currents into the junction has to equal the sum of the currents leaving the junction is known as Kirchhoff's junction law. And we'll be using this quite a bit as we analyze what are known as parallel circuits, which is something we'll talk about in chapter 23. So here's a little quick check. There's a kind of a confusing picture here, right? But I have current A, current B, and current C. Now current C, okay, so let's look at current A. Current A goes and it splits into 2 amps and into something else, into current B, which means that current B has to be less than current A. And we know that 3 amps of current join B right here to make current C. So current C has to also be larger than current B, but since this is only 2 amps over here that left it and 3 amps that are joining it, that means that C has to also be greater than B, and that's what we see over. That's what we see over here. But this statement isn't correct, right? We know that C is greater than B, and B is less than A. So I got to rearrange this, and that is that C is greater than A is greater than B. So C gets the most amount of current because it's 3 amps plus B. B is the least amount of current because it is 2 amps less than A, and A is less than C. So just a little quick check to get you in there. So from that, we're actually going to take a look into a lab about how current flows, and we'll be looking at this concept known as the continuous conducting path, and we'll take a look at that in the next segment.